Driving this vehicle, we notice a vibration at highway speeds. We're also noticing a rubbing noise that sounds like this. And when getting out of the vehicle, I'm noticing a burning smell. It smells like it's coming from behind this wheel. Let's get into it. With the symptoms that we have, it's pointing towards the brake caliper being an issue. So we want to check this out. This is something you can do at home. You want to raise the vehicle up off the ground so that the wheels can turn. Get in the vehicle, pump the brake pedal a good 3 or 4 times, pushing it down really hard. And then you're going to go out and turn each wheel. If any of them give you any resistance, that's the caliper you're going to want to look at. When we spun all the tires, we got a different result on the wheel that we thought might have an issue. On the wheel that we suspected, as soon as you let go of the wheel would actually stop. One other thing you may notice before any of these other symptoms we talked about is excessive brake dust on one wheel. If all 4 wheels have brake dust, it's probably just because you need brakes. But if only one wheel has it and the others are pretty clean, chances are there's something going on with those brakes. So let's take off this wheel and go a little deeper. Clearly, this vehicle has new brakes. This can happen whether you have old brakes or new brakes, but with everything being tighter, this can enhance a problem that's there that you didn't even notice. Now, there is that possibility that someone installing these brakes did not clean the caliper bracket properly, causing the pads to stick, giving us all these issues. The best thing to do is go to 1aauto.com where you can watch the how-to videos and order your parts all in one place. Now, this reminds me of a story of someone installing their brakes wrong. I'll tell you that at the end. Let's take the caliper off. Now, there's a good amount of rust on this caliper. It doesn't mean that the caliper is not working properly, but that is a good sign that maybe you should think about replacing the calipers while you're doing the brakes. This vehicle is about 10 years old, and if you're planning on keeping it for a lot longer, it's a good idea to do that while we're here. Pay attention to the caliper pins. They need to slide nice and smooth in the bracket, and they are lubricated. If they're not sliding well, it's going to give you some issues. Looking at the piston, you want to make sure the seal is not ripped and it's going all the way around the piston and it looks pretty good. The rubber could be distorted and cracked. You don't want that, or debris and moisture is going to get in there causing the piston to freeze up. Sometimes it even looks fine and there's still a problem internally. So when you're compressing the piston, you want to make sure that it doesn't feel tighter than the others. Pay attention if one of them feels tight as it's getting installed or as you're compressing it. You're better off just replacing the caliper if you find that it is tighter. You don't want to end up having to replace the pads and rotors again. If you put this all together assuming that you're okay, then you're going to have an issue and it's going to cost you more money to fix it in the long run. Let's head over to the bench and take a closer look and see what's on the inside. Here's the piston out of the caliper. If it was really bad, you could have this badly scored or even badly corroded and rusted and causing it to bind into the caliper more, and that's causing your issue. So if that was ripped, it's going to cause all the elements to get inside the caliper. The main reason why these fail would be the seal inside here. And you see this is made of rubber, so it's going to break down over time and it's not going to seal properly. It's either going to be swollen and cause it to bind up, or it's going to leak. If your inner seals are leaking, it's time to replace your calipers. When your vehicle's in need of brakes, double check your calipers. You can get a whole kit from 1aauto.com. Then you're not going to have problems like we have here. To replace the brake caliper, it's a good idea to compress the brake pedal first to prevent fluid from dripping on the ground. You want to take the brake caliper bolts out, remove the caliper. You can hang it from a caliper hanger. Disconnect the brake hose. Then take the old brake pads off the caliper bracket. Remove the caliper bracket. Separate the new caliper from the bracket. Put everything back together, making sure you torque all the bolts and perform a brake bleed last. All right, that feels so much better when the brakes are actually working the way they're designed. You got to make sure those calipers are working properly. That brings me to that story that I was telling you earlier. There was a guy that came into the shop saying that he did his brake calipers and he couldn't get a good pedal feel out of them afterwards. Turns out he actually installed the caliper upside down, so the bleeder was on the bottom. But you can't bleed the brakes, you can't get all the air out if it's facing down. You're gonna have to have the bleeder at the top. Make sure you put those calipers on correctly.